We have gone through the first canto of the Book of Yoga, the joy of union, the ordeal of the foreknowledge of death, and a heart's grief. We have seen most of these details in some manner, and the general impression we get about the canto as well as from the canto about the entire composition of Savitri is that every bit of it is complete in itself in Savitri. If it is a canto, if it is a section, if it is a paragraph, if it is a sentence, that by itself is complete and can stand of its own, on its own. In fact, that's the whole beauty of Savitri. Yet, one completeness flows into the other completeness with a sort of luminous spontaneity, joining all of them together and forming a perfect essay in poetry. That is the beauty of Savitri. Each part is complete, yet all these parts join together to form an overall completeness in the totality of his presentation. Now, if you see from that point of view, it is possible to present a brief resume of the first canto of this book. And that is what we could do today, to quickly run to the entire canto before moving on to the next canto, the second canto. The first canto begins with the famous line, "Fate followed her, forcing immutable road." We have seen different aspects of this line from different points of view, from different angles. This line is also a bridge between the previous description and the description is to follow. It provides a wonderful link in the poetic logic of the development of Savitri. Narad has already foretold about the death of Satyavan. He has brought the word of fate and delivered it to Savitri. While he has delivered the word to Savitri, he has also planted the seed of yoga in her soul. So if you see from all these connections, this line, "Fate followed her, forcing immutable road," we see many aspects coming into picture at once, in one single line. Fate as a universal force governs the cosmic events. Fate in the life of an individual molds his nature, governs his nature, and shapes it for the event. Now, in the case of Savitri, both these aspects are present, the cosmic as well as the individual. Why it is decreed that Satyavan must die, it is fated that this must happen, yet the greater spirits can reverse this fate. The beauty of fate is that although our free will is governed by nature and fate, it also gives us a scope for things to happen in our free will. What is fate? See the executive force of the universe. She fixes our circumstances, present situation. She determines the events in the life of man. That is the nature of fate. But the greater spirits can change that fate. In the context of fate, we have also seen about Theon's idea of the origin of death. According to him, it is falsehood that created death. Falsehood is the source of death. But Savitri has just the opposite view of it. It is death who has created falsehood. So in that sense, death becomes more important in the life and work of Savitri. If you are able to knock off death, it means you are able to knock off falsehood. And that is what this greater spirit has come here to do. Savitri can change fate. It means that it can knock off death. It can remove, as a result of that, falsehood of this world itself. That is the entire thrust of the opening passage of this canto. The greater spirits can change the balance of fate, can reverse the balance of fate, and make the soul the artist of its fate. And Savitri is that great spirit. She has come for that purpose. Now, after having made this introductory statement, the poet moves on with the story of Savitri. Yes, she is here now. She is going to change fate. That is fixed, that is decided, that is done in a certain sense. Therefore, all is fulfilled that Savitri had desired. She wanted to marry Satyavan, and that desire is fulfilled. But all is fulfilled that Savitri desired also means that she is going to conquer death. She is going to change her fate. And the poet is already telling you in advance that yes, this is what is going to happen shortly. All is fulfilled that Savitri's heart had desired. But in the context of the story, the relationship is directly of a different type. Savitri wanted to marry Satyavan, and this has been achieved. The royal party has come to the hermitage, and the wedding of Savitri has taken place in the company of the sages of the forest. Savitri's heart is happy, she is happy, and of course Satyavan is also happy. Savitri's Old parents-in-law are also extremely happy. They find in her someone who has come like a goddess to serve them. And therefore, in that little event, all happiness is already present there. The royal party is there, the marriage has taken place, and Savitri is now the wife of Satyavan. Savitri's parents and the convoy go back to Mathura, and Savitri stays in the forest. She, the princess who was served by everybody, now starts living a strict hermitage life of hardship, ascetic life, simple clothes, simple wants, simple jobs of the hut in which they are staying. She is serving her parents-in-law. She is cleaning the room, sweeping the floor, washing the vessels, pulling the water from the well for all of them. One who was served is now serving others. That is what Savitri has accepted as a part of the reward of joining with Satyavan. And she has no grudge about it. She does it all very gladly, very happily, very consciously, very sweetly also, with all love poured into it, you see. Obviously, Savitri considers her living with Satyavan as a precious joy. She is enjoying the marital life of the early days, and she has forgotten everything in the company of Satyavan. But this cannot be for too long. The date fixed by Narad keeps on haunting her, and she knows that pretty soon her husband will be no more there, and she has not prepared herself in any way to meet the eventuality of his death. While this is happening, Savitri remains calm, remains unperturbed. Her immobile spirit watches the haste of time in the company of her husband. The days are passing very swiftly, and very few days are now remaining for the decreed event to take place. She is counting, yes, maybe a month, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a few days now. She watches the haste of time in that joy. She remembers Narad's date. So under these conditions, Savitri is in a mixed state of happiness and of grief, intense grief, without any solution to come out of it. The foreboding is there, the sorrow, the terror, they are waiting at her doorsteps. While she is calm, remaining silent all the while. She is waiting for some voice to tell her how to proceed further. But there is no response. There is absolutely no response at all. And under that condition, Savitri, this is the reason of these passages. Only her violent heart and passionate will were pushed in front to meet the immutable doom. Defenseless, nude, bound to a human lot, they had no means to act, no way to save. But Savitri consoled this and attended her daily routine activities. In all those daily routine activities, in all her acts, a strange divinity shone. That is the beauty of Savitri. She is expressing her original nature even in all the small human activities. A oneness is Earth's glowing robe of light, a lifting up of common acts by love. That is the divinity of Savitri's love. And it is that which is being expressed in her daily activities. But at the same time, grief comes and butters her, disturbs her. When her grief to the surface pressed too close, these things seemed meaningless to her, a gleaming shell or a round, mechanical and void of no value at all in her life. So this is the sort of a divided life Savitri is leading, and she has no idea what is going to happen, in what manner things will take shape tomorrow. Waking at morn, she would still cling to Satyavan. While he is in the forest, her spirit also will walk with him. After all was given, she demanded still from Satyavan. Even by his strong embrace, unsatisfied, she longed to cry, "O tender Satyavan, O lover of my soul, give more of love, while yet thou canst, to her thou lovest." That is the silent longing of Savitri's soul. And she is waiting for a response from him. But Satyavan has the least idea of what is going to happen. She feels that something is disturbing Savitri, but he has no knowledge of the depth of her grief at all. He has absolutely no idea, no knowledge at all, no hint of it at all. All of his speeding days, the time that he could spare for her, he gave to her and remained with her physically, mentally, in terms of the soul, in terms of the spirit, all. Savitri at one moment of time then thought that she would take the simple path of going away with Satyavan when his dead body is burning in the fire. That she rules out, because she has identified herself with the entire world, with the entire universe. She has not come here to walk away from grief and sorrow and difficulties and death present in this world. That is not the nature of Savitri at all. she cannot accept that condition at all. She has to be here. And therefore, she has to help spiritually, physically, vitally, mentally, in the deepest sense, most luminously, in an occult way, this creation. She demands the boon of joy and happiness and love from the Supreme for the sake of men on earth and earth's soul. That is her identity with this creation. And therefore, Savitri cannot imagine to walk away in any circumstance of that kind of way. While she is weighing all these pros and cons of her possible actions, what happens? The silent being within her remains silent. It does not tell anything to Savitri. Savitri, do this, Savitri, do that, Savitri, do that. Nothing, no response is there. Savitri, under that condition, makes her life an offering to the Yajna Purusha of this creation. She listed fire of Yajna and makes her life that Yajna Kunda, the altar in which the fire is burning, that is her life. And in that fire, in that altar lit with her life, she pours all the sorrow and suffering. She has offered everything of us now to the Yajna Purusha. And it is for the Yajna Purusha now to take care of her. He will do whatever has got to be done. Savitri has not to worry about anything at that point of time, because she has now made herself fully a part of his will, part of his action. Whatever Yajna Purusha decides, that she will accept and perform. Yet, Savitri cannot be free totally of the grief that is weighing in her soul. After all, it is not her personal grief. It is the grief of the entire universe which has gathered into her soul. The grief of the entire universe, of the entire creation, of the entire past that has brought her to this point. It is that grief which is disturbing her. But with the yajna she has lit, even that grief itself, that personified grief, falls silent, falls mute, becomes calm, delight, resolute. It falls silent. That is self, a great siddhi. Savitri has already achieved the moment she has kindled the yogic fire of offering her life, of her sorrow to the Yajna Purusha of this creation. She has already achieved that siddhi, that the grief self has become calm. The moment the grief self becomes calm, there is a perfect adhara now, a support now established for the higher spiritual and occult powers to enter into a life. If you are disturbed, if you are not steady, then the spiritual powers and the occult powers, even if they come into you, cannot become effective. She has already acquired that poise to receive those higher powers into her soul. And that is the perfect preparation she has achieved in the course of her union with her husband. That is the contribution of her love with Satyavan. The contribution of her love with Satyavan, that the entire grief of the universe has gathered into her soul. She has offered that grief to the Yajna Purusha, and that grief has become now silent, has become calm, delight, lost its harshness, and is now in a position to make Savitri, to let Savitri receive the power of the Supreme Divine Shakti that will be entering into her. With that, the year is almost coming to an end. The rains which were rushing, the wild winds which are rushing in the forest, they have fallen silent. The year now paws upon the brink of change. No more the storms sailed with stupendous wings, and thunder strode in wrath across the world. And still was heard a muttering in the sky, and rain dripped wearily to the mournful air, and grey slow drifting clouds shut in the earth. They were closed in. The clouds closed in the earth in them. So her grief's heavy sky shut in her heart. Her heart is now shut in the grief. And therefore she has become very quiet, very calm, well poised, luminously poised to receive the descent of the higher powers which she required in the course of time, in the course of a yuga. A still self hid behind but gave no hint. Only in the privacy of his brooding pain, her human heart spoke to the body's fate. Yes, year has come to a stop. Savitri has already performed the vow of the 3 nights, 3 Ratra Vrata, and nothing is going to disturb her now. She is there ready tomorrow, on the fated day, to walk with Satyavan to the forest. Under this psychological, yogic condition, Savitri would receive a summons from the heights of her being. A summons from being's summit she would receive. She will be told how to proceed now on the path of her yoga. The ground is prepared. She has nothing there in her now which will disturb the entry of the spiritual powers in her. And with that accomplishment, with that siddhi, Savitri's yoga is about to begin.